You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, a semi filled with plastic wrap crashes near Rolla, Missouri.
But first, a Joplin baker uses her hobby to help those in need.
And temperatures, you see that snow? Yeah, it's not going to stay much longer. We're finally starting to warm up out there, which means the snow can go away. A look at your forecast coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Samantha Walker.
And I'm Chris Warner. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I'm Chris Warner. Well, you paused, and that's when I realized I should probably continue.
It's a Monday.
Tell me about it. The groundhog.
We got bad news from Phil. He told us 6 more weeks of winter.
Yeah, I did. If you missed a drawn-out 4-hour-long proclamation they read just to tell us he saw his shadow. We had it live during one of our weather updates, and I'm not kidding. It was like forever and a day. They could have read the Constitution of the United States of America. That's what it felt like they were doing. Anyway, he saw a shadow, 6 more weeks of winter. Not, though, in the near term. We're going to warm up, and we'll talk about that a little later. But a local baker warming folks up in a different way.
Yeah, a baker in Joplin is turning personal struggle into community support.
KOAM's Nellie Lopez gives us a closer look at how a baker's sourdough hobby is helping put bread on the table.
I started baking about 2.5 years ago. I was in a mom group at my church, and I was actually going through postpartum depression at the time, and I found a really cool group of people, and a woman there invited me to her house to learn how to make sourdough.
Beth later found baking sourdough was the best therapy for her. At the time, she was finding it challenging to extend compassion to others. However, when the government shut down in the late 2025, leaving many families in need, baking took on a deeper, more meaningful purpose for her.
When I had heard that the government was shutting down, I knew that there were going to be hungry people in our community.
By then, Beth already had several customers buying her sourdough. She decided to take it a step further.
I shot them an email and I said, hey, this is my idea. If you want to sponsor a loaf, you can sponsor a loaf for $5. That was basic cost. That was not going to give me any profit at all.
With the help of the community, she had sourdough bread ready to donate.
I decided if it were me and I were needing bread, I probably would not want to show my face to someone. So I just decided to leave it in the blessing box, and then whoever came to the box could get it.
Community boxes like this one, where you can take what you need and leave what you can, giving the community the option of getting food and maintaining privacy. She could simply buy bread, a much cheaper and faster option, but she believes someone without the means to eat should have access to healthy options.
Sourdough bread is healthy, and so being able to give families something healthy that's going to nourish their kids, themselves, that's really nice too.
In Joplin, Nellie Lopez, KOAM News.
Now, Beth also puts all the ingredients on the bread labels along with a Bible verse to let the person know they're not alone, a way for her to spread some hope.
And certainly hope is needed by folks on occasion, and sometimes by more folks than we may realize. We talk about it during the holiday season. It's easy to forget outside of that, and folks like her, she's not forgetting. We can't forget either that people need help year-round, not just at the holidays. So a great mission, great to see her working on this.
And it's clear she's so passionate about that project.
Very much so. And are you ready for some warmer weather?
I know I am.
It's like those kids shows, right? Are you ready for warm weather? And we wait for the audience response. So are we. Let's take a look outside, starting in downtown Pittsburgh. We've got clear skies to start our day. Clouds will begin increasing, but our temperatures increasing as well, which is certainly nice. There's the moon off to the left side of your TV. It's my right side when I get over here, but it's your left side. And otherwise, clear skies, Westco camera 7th and Range Line, and the Baxter Springs camera on 69th. It's technically just north of Baxter, but take a look. Clear skies, beautiful way to start the day, except for all that snow that's still hanging around, but it will not be hanging around much longer. We are a little colder up north. Bear in mind, average lows about the mid-20s. We do have some upper teens out there. Iola and Stockton, the colder spots, both at 18. Fort Scott, Yates Center, not far behind at 19. It's south, mid-20s, upper 20s. And Joplin, the warm spot. No, it's not anymore. I'm sorry. You've lost the warm spot. You're not bad. You're at 31, but look at Bentonville now, up to 35. And while clouds will begin to increase heading into the afternoon, temperatures will still climb regardless. We'll start to go partly cloudy in the afternoon. By late afternoon, early evening, we begin to become mostly cloudy, but we'll stay dry out there. Temperatures mid-30s by 9, upper 40s by noon, and into the low 50s for the majority of us for our highs today. South winds 5 to 10. Now, we do have a weak cold front coming in early tomorrow morning. It's not going to do much, but it will make us a little cooler, but it's a brief cool down. We'll go over the details, talk about how much more warm air is on the way here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. A semi loaded with press and seal plastic wrap crashed yesterday evening near Rolla, Missouri. The tractor trailer struck bridge overpass pillars and the driver was entrapped. The truck initially caught fire, but bystanders were able to put out the flame using a fire extinguisher. Emergency services located the heavily damaged semi with the occupant still trapped inside, suffering traumatic injuries. Crews quickly extracted the driver, who was flown from the scene. Bridge inspectors designated the structure as safe for continued travel. A train collision and derailment shut down tracks near the Missouri-Kansas line. 2 trains collided over the weekend near Mulberry, Kansas and Burgess, Missouri. 2 tanker cars carrying a heavy asphalt-like material, a grain hopper, and a locomotive derailed. Some grain spilled, but no injuries were reported. Authorities have not yet given an estimate for when service will resume. For now, the main line is not operating through the area. The cause of the collision is under investigation. The USD 250 Foundation distributed nearly $25,000 in grant funding to support the district's teachers. Priorities given to grant applications that enhance structured literacy and standard skills for state assessments. John Bartlow, the president of the USD 250 Foundation, says the grants let teachers branch out from budget concerns and try new things in the classroom. Well, a basketball tournament took place to honor a local team lost to gun violence. KOAM's Mitch Adams brings us more.
I just seen it as an opportunity to bring the community together. You know, it was a tragic time. We lost a young kid. Nobody should ever have to receive that call or have anything like that happen in life.
On January 9th, Girard High School senior Adam Bizzari lost his life to gun violence. To honor his life, friends and family organized a benefit basketball tournament in Pittsburgh.
It's a good feeling for sure, because I expected maybe 10, 20 people, maximum 30 people come out, have some food, show our blessings to the family and whatnot, but there's quite a lot of people and there's more in the other gym.
Adam's mother, Amy, attended the tournament, saying the support has been overwhelming from the community since she lost her son.
Well, it's a joy. It warms my heart. The support period we've had from beginning until today, and it'll probably continue, has been amazing.
With food, friends, and of course, basketball, the support for the Bizzari family still continues.
I just want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you for all your kind words. Thank you for stopping by and, keeping an eye on us. I'm thankful for all of that.
In Pittsburgh, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
And those are our top news stories this half hour. Coming up next, Lori Langley is making peanut butter poke cake. Welcome back. We've got Lori Langley in the studio, and she's showing us her recipe for peanut butter poke cake. Good morning.
Good morning.
It smells so good. I've just been saying
gosh,
that.
I know.
It smells so good.
Peanut butter is such a good way to start the morning. Yes. And this one is really simple. It's got a few steps to it, but nothing really complicated. So we started out, we just talked about making our basic chocolate cake. And you can do this according to the box directions. You can make your favorite scratch recipe, whatever makes you happy. We did a Coca-Cola simple chocolate cake this morning for the base here. Yeah. Now we need to do layer 2, which is kind of a peanut butter sauce. And I've got 2/3 of a cup of peanut butter in my bowl. I've just kind of creamed that a little bit so that it's nice and smooth. You can use chunky peanut butter if you want, but honestly the smooth works a little bit better just because over time the peanuts get a little soft when you use them in recipes like this. So if you're going to be making it and just like immediately serving it that night, use the chunky, whatever you like, but if it's going to set for maybe a day before you take it, go ahead and stick with the smooth. So we're going to add to this an entire can of sweetened condensed milk. Gonna start to just work that together a little bit.
Very nice.
It's gonna be really, really nice and smooth. And then we're gonna add to that just a few tablespoons of milk. Now, when you look up the recipe later on KOAMnewsnow.com, you're gonna find it says about 2 tablespoons. I actually added about twice that. I liked mine a little bit thinner to really pour and soak into that cake when it's nice and warm. So your judgment on that, whatever, but at least a couple tablespoons of milk just to thin that down a little bit. You're gonna go very gently as you start to mix this together.
So you're not going hardcore with
nope,
it.
No, we have to really use our patience. That's not my strong suit, but I try. And let that just slowly incorporate and get that peanut butter broken up. It just takes a couple seconds, a little bit extra time, and it's gonna really be smooth and soft. So when we pull that chocolate cake directly out of the oven and just let it set for about 5 minutes on the counter, you're gonna pour this over it while it is still nice and warm. And you can see we've got a lot of holes poked in the top of that. Most of us probably have made some type of a poke cake before, either with Jello or whatever type of topping in that really soaks in. So that's the purpose of that.
Oh,
so
and the seeds come together.
It comes together really, really easily, really quickly. It's a little hard to see. I've got all my stuff here set in here, but you can see it's going to pour nicely. So even though this cake is nice and cooled, it is still going to soak into that top.
Oh yeah.
And that little bit of extra milk in there does make it kind of go down into that a little bit more. So you're gonna put that on there, pop that in the fridge for at least a couple hours, or overnight is even better. We're gonna make sure we get it all the way out to the edges, and when we come back, we're gonna make a peanut butter frosting for the top that's gonna really set this off.
I'm so excited because, like I was telling you earlier, it smells just like a Reese's candy cup,
doesn't it?
And I'm like, oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna be right back. Can't wait to see it. Well, welcome back. Lori Langley is showing us the final steps for this delicious looking peanut butter poke cake. I can't wait to see how this comes together.
So good. We did go ahead and kind of smooth out that peanut butter sauce on our chocolate cake there. You want to make sure you really get it into all of those crevices and all of those little holes we poked in there and all the way out to the corners. You don't want to have a piece that's not fully incorporated. So the last step for the topping is we're going to take about a cup of that smooth and creamy peanut butter, and then we are going to add to that an entire tub of whipped topping. And you can use whatever kind you want. I like to use the extra creamy or the extra rich in things like this because it's just a little bit next level.
Yeah, especially when it's kind of acting as that frosting, like you said.
Exactly. This is that third layer that just kind of cuts that chocolate and peanut butter. It's going to take just a minute for us to get that incorporated. You don't need to be gentle with this. This is not a fold in kind of a layer, so go to town with that. You really want that peanut butter to be well incorporated and mixed into the whipped topping. And then right before we get it totally done, we're going to add just a splash of vanilla because that just makes everything better. That teaspoon measurement from the lid. Again, we still haven't tested that theory, but that's
I know
the
some people
prevailing
with
loop.
vanilla just measure with their heart a little bit.
Absolutely. It actually is possible to get too much, but you can just make a nice little splash. And again, we're going to just make sure we really scrape that bowl well. We want this to be smooth, so just keep going with that until you lose those streaks of Cool Whip and you just see kind of a fluffy, really, really fluffy peanut butter. Almost looks like a cheesecake layer on top of that. So by letting this set in the fridge overnight, it's going to make it very easy to smooth this on, but it's also going to keep it separated. So when you cut this, you're going to see that cake layer, and then you're going to see that separation of the frosting or the Cool Whip on top. It's not going to melt into it the way that we wanted our first layer to do. So this is pretty incorporated, so
beautiful.
I'm going to bring this guy over here. We'll kind of spread it out a little bit, not put it all in one place. And then what really works well with things like this is an angled spatula. So if you don't have one of those, really do recommend that because it makes life a whole lot easier when you're spreading stuff like this out. Keeps your fingers out of the top and just makes it come off of there really nice and even. So we're just going to take that all the way out to the edges. And then, as if this is not enough, when I get done, I have got some chopped up Reese's peanut butter cups here and a little bit of chocolate sauce. Because as you know, I always like to make sure when you take these to places, nobody should look at this and wonder what's inside.
Be like, oh, it's a butterscotch cake,
right?
Or something
You
like
never
that.
know. So we're going to make sure they know there is peanut butter and chocolate and all of those yummy flavors together just by taking one look at the top.
It looks delicious. I can't wait to see this. You know, it already looks so pretty, and I know once we get those toppings on, it'll be just perfect. And I know I'm going to snag a slice before you leave. So.
Absolutely.
Well, I can't wait to see it. Thank you so much, Lori. We're going to be right back.
Here's your Skywatch weather forecast from the trusted Roper Kia Weather Center.
At least once a week I do that. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It's 7:23 now on this Monday morning. We're going to start with the future track. Today we start warming up. We do cool back briefly and then we warm up again. So the remaining snow should be gone in the next 2 or 3 days as we head with these warmer temperatures going through this week. All right, let's talk about today. We'll have clouds increasing as we head through the morning. Eventually into the afternoon we start going partly cloudy. We're seeing a few clouds here and there, but nothing too crazy as of yet. Through the afternoon, again, partly cloudy, and by late afternoon, early evening, we'll start to go mostly cloudy, and we will remain mostly cloudy overnight tonight into the start of Tuesday. Now, Tuesday morning, a weak cold front, which you can see here, begins to push through the area. So by about 5, it's almost right on top of the I-44 corridor. It's a weak cold front, and we call it that for 2 reasons. 1, there's no precipitation really associated with it, and 2, the temperature drop is minimal in terms of what we've, especially compared to what we've seen the last few days across the region. So we're going to stay cloudy, mostly cloudy throughout the day Tuesday and into Wednesday as well, but we should also remain dry. We'll have winds shifting out of the north, but we're not looking at overly gusty winds at this point. And while Future Track seems to think that some flurries are possible heading through the day on Wednesday, I'm going to tell you right now, at least at this point, we're going to be cooler, yes, but not cold enough for wintry precipitation. It's just going to be kind of cloudy and dreary out there. It's not to say a flurry or two is out of the question, just not very likely, but we will be cloudy and, like I said, dreary, which also makes us a little cooler on Wednesday compared to where we'll be tomorrow. But it's a brief cool down because skies will begin to clear again as we head into Thursday and temperatures will begin to warm up. So here's a live look from Westco Camera 7th and Range Line. You can see clear skies. Now we're looking east. If we point it back west, just a couple of clouds out there. Nothing too crazy. We'll be into the upper 20s to start the day and into the mid 40s by 11 o'clock this morning. As we head into the afternoon, temperatures nice out there. Low 50s for most of us, maybe some upper 40s up north, and south winds at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Into the evening, we start going mostly cloudy, which locks our temperatures in, at least for a bit, keeping us into the mid 40s, because remember, the clouds act as a blanket. They help keep it a pinch warmer. And so, yeah, 33 is cold, but bear in mind the average low is into the mid 20s, and here lately we've been lucky to reach the mid 20s for highs, so that's not that bad, all things considered. Northwest winds 5 to 10. As we go through the next few days, again, tomorrow and Wednesday, we're a little more seasonable. We should be about the mid 40s. That's where we're headed tomorrow. Maybe a little cooler Wednesday, upper 30s, low 40s. Our overnight lows on track in the mid 20s, which is where they should be. So that's why I said this cold front, yeah, does bring our temperatures down a bit, but not significantly. Brings us back near normal. And then by Thursday, we start warming up. Look at Friday here, near 60 degrees. We do have some shower chances possible on Sunday and next Wednesday. And Long Range Data has hinted at a warm up next week, and that still looks to be on track. Back into the 50s, maybe even some low 60s by the second half of next week. So we'll definitely get rid of that snow. We'll have an opportunity to kind of thaw out, dry out, and enjoy some time outside over the next several days. That's a check of your forecast. We're back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:29. I'm Samantha Walker. Concerns and questions over the living conditions, insurance, and the ownership of an extended stay motel on the Branson Strip. Chris Bryan traveled to Branson to see what's happening and what the city is doing to address the problem.
One of their local residents work in the area, and they were concerned that bed bugs, roaches, the fire problems, things like that, they're having problems with their fire suppression.
Anita Williams has been working with those who live in the 76 Family Inn on the 76th Strip in Branson, and those living in the motel tell her the owner has become an absentee landlord.
He is, and he's still having the manager take rent payments even though he doesn't have a license.
The city of Branson declined my request for an interview, but in a statement confirmed the city issued a citation to the owner last week for operating without a business license, and the city's Building Services Division conducted an initial follow-up inspection and issued a notice and order for observed code violations. Inspectors also visited the location this morning. The city says it will remain actively engaged to ensure the property's compliance with city codes. People who live in the motel noticed this letter taped to the window of the office stating the owner has 5 business days to comply with getting a valid business license. They also shared photos from inside the rooms showing some of the concerns. I called the number listed for the owner of 76 Family Inn, but it did not go through.
No, he's not. He's not even in the country. From reports that we got from the city yesterday, he's in India.
When asked about the city plans to shut down the property or if the city thinks it's safe to live in, a city spokesperson said, "We will be providing more information as it becomes available."
The locals don't have the extra money. You know, they set up themselves to where they would be okay or thought they would be okay through the winter, but the conditions have gotten so horrid in there that they are being eaten alive and swallowed alive.
Now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Again, we've got a bit of a chilly start to the day. Some of us even into the teens, but we will all get an opportunity to warm up. Live look, downtown Pittsburgh. That's this time. A few clouds out there. Otherwise, pretty clear skies as the sun rises this morning. Westco camera, 7th and range line, looking back to the east. No clouds visible from this particular angle, but those clouds will begin to increase out there. On a final stop, the KDOT camera, 69, just north of Baxter Springs. Still snow out there as well, but clear skies overhead. The good news is we're really going to start to get rid of the snow this week. It doesn't feel like it, I'm sure, though. Temperatures, take a look. Up north, we do have some teens out there. Iola, the cold spot at 18, 19, Fort Scott and Stockton. Head a little further south, it's a little warmer. Some of it's close to average, mid-20s out there. And then we get into the low 30s in some spots, and even Bentonville, the warm spot right now, sitting at 35 degrees. Now, as I mentioned, clouds gradually increasing, eventually going partly cloudy through the afternoon. And by late afternoon into the evening hours, we will go mostly cloudy. We'll remain dry, but we will see those clouds begin to thicken up across the region. Be about the mid-30s by 9 o'clock this morning, upper 40s by noon, and most of us highs into the low 50s today. So that's what we're talking about. We're going to get some melting done out there. South winds about 5 to 10 miles an hour. A weak cold front comes in early tomorrow morning. Temperatures are going to drop just a bit over the next couple of days, and then we'll warm back up again. We'll talk about how warm it's going to get here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Thanks, Chris. Children were able to put their creativity and building skills to the test at a hands-on construction challenge hosted by Pittsburgh State University. Students in grades 1 through 6 were given a limited set of materials in just 1 hour to design something related to construction. Organizers say the goal was to make learning fun while introducing kids to careers in the building trades.
So they have 100 Legos, a piece of string, a rock, and some aluminum foil to build something construction related. So sometimes they'll build houses, sometimes they build bulldozers, cranes, towers, whatever their imagination can come up with, and they have an hour to do it.
Well, across time, culture, and species, animals awakening from hibernation have been unlikely forecasters relied upon for weather prognostications between satellites, newscasts, and apps. In Europe, a sacred bear or badger was sought out for guidance, but Germans settling in Pennsylvania in the 18th and 19th centuries looked to a different animal, the humble groundhog. The first official Groundhog's Day dates back to 1887 when the people of Puxatawney, Pennsylvania made their first trek to Gobbler's Knob, marking the midpoint between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. Now, every February 2nd, this small town welcomes thousands of visitors to see the world's most famous animal meteorologist, Puxatawney Phil. If Phil comes out of his hole and sees a shadow, he regards it as an omen of more bad weather ahead and goes back into his burrow for 6 more weeks of winter sleep. But if Phil emerges on a cloudy day, he takes it as a sign of spring and stays above ground. The tradition is carried on by Puxatawney's Groundhog Club's Inner Circle, a group of local dignitaries in top hats and tails who make sure the legend lives on. And of course, this year, Phil did see his shadow, which means 6 more weeks of winter. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. An adorable calf warms up indoors, escaping the freezing temperatures. And no real ID, then expect to pay a fee. In Consumer Watch, no real ID, then expect to pay a fee. Starting Sunday, February 1st, so yesterday, airport travelers who don't have their real ID can expect to pay an extra $45, all to offset the cost of extra TSA screenings. Instead of turning away passengers without real IDs and passports from airport checkpoints, travelers will instead verify their identity by answering a series of questions about themselves and what will be known as Confirm ID. The extra screening is expected to take an extra 30 minutes, and then passengers should plan accordingly. The TSA is still urging flyers to get those real IDs to avoid delays or missed flights. Well, good news for home seekers. The housing market may be favoring buyers now. A new analysis from real estate company Redfin finds home buyers are securing the biggest discounts in over a decade. The analysis shows the average discount for a home buyer who paid less than the original asking price in 2025 was about 8%. That is the biggest savings in 13 years. Redfin is also reports of about 62% of all home buyers got discounts in 2025. Meanwhile, buyers were least likely to get a discount in Newark, New Jersey, San Francisco, and San Jose, California, with limited new construction in those areas. Those are our top consumer stories. Let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
Here's your Skywatch weather forecast from the trusted Roper Kia Weather Center.
Welcome back. It is 7:40. We're about 8 seconds away from 7:41 on this Monday Groundhog Day. Now, yes, Punxsutawney Phil saw his shadow. If I get close enough, now we can see my shadow. So 6 more weeks of winter are on the horizon, according to the groundhog. And regrettably, very long-range data, and that's very long range. You guys know that even short long range, if you know what I mean, that can change. So it can change, but very long range data does suggest another round of snow at some point later this month. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there, if we get there. In the meantime, let's enjoy this. It doesn't look like much. It's clouds and some wind arrows, but it's going to be really nice, and I'm going to show you about that. We'll have clouds gradually increasing and eventually going mostly cloudy by late afternoon into the evening hours, so partly cloudy through the afternoon. A light south breeze about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Wind shifts out of the northwest as a weak cold front comes through, and I keep calling it that because of 2 reasons. Number 1, there's no precipitation associated with it. You can see it right here at 5 a.m. tomorrow, right along I-44. Also, number 2, the temperature drop associated with it is negligible. It's minimal. It's not very big. It will just kick us back closer to average. What I mean by that is it's actually going to be warmer today, but it's also a brief cool down. Outside of that, clouds, man. That's what we get to contend with as we head through the day on our Tuesday, and that will continue into our Wednesday. All right, see a few clouds now from Westco Camera 7th and range line in Joplin. We're going to go about the upper 20s by 8 into the mid 40s by 11 a.m. Highs today, this is what I was talking about, low 50s. Now up north, the 54 corridor, maybe into the upper 40s, but most of us into the low 50s, south winds 5 to 10. Mostly cloudy into the evening. Like I said, the clouds act as that blanket, keeping in some of the warmer air, so we kind of hang out in the mid-40s for a bit. And we are cold tonight, but remember, average lows are in the mid-20s, so we're in the low 30s, so better than average. Northwest winds 5 to 10, north winds 5 to 10 tomorrow. Again, cloudy, mid-40s, so normal, but cooler than today for sure. Mid-20s, so average lows. A little cooler Wednesday. Could see some upper 30s up north as well, but it is brief. Take a look at what happens after that. We are darn near 60 degrees by Friday, so the snow will be going away before too much longer. Shower chances Sunday and next Wednesday, 50s hanging on, and the not as long-range data, the shorter long-range data, suggesting we could see the low 60s in the second half of next week. A lot to keep an eye on there. Well, let's check your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
Well, a family in Kentucky brings a newborn calf inside their home during extreme cold. Macy Sorrell's husband Tanner had gone outside last Saturday to check on the calf's pregnant mother.
Now, the couple discovered the newborn struggling in the cold, so they brought the calf inside, cleaned her, and let her spend the night in the house. Oh, that looks so cute.
Aww. The couple's children wound up cuddling the calf, who reunited with her mother the next morning. But what a great way to kind of be welcomed into the world and
no
nice
kidding.
and
Oh, that last photo was so cute. That was the little boy was just like sleeping with his arm over the cow. That's really cool.
Yeah.
That is cool indeed. Well, German hunters tried to convince the jury at a national stag calling championship that they can imitate a bellowing red deer most realistically. The unique tradition goes back hundreds of years and was initially aimed at feigning a stag's rival during the rutting season so the deer comes out.
The competition took place Friday at the Jagdhund, or Hunting and Dog Trade Fair in the western city of Dortmund. There were no animals, only bellowing men wearing traditional hunter's garb, including green hats with a tuft of chamois hair.
I guess I'm trying to scare off red deer every morning or bring in red deer because that's all I do is bellow all morning long. Well, the hunters use specially made ox horns, Triton snail shells, glass cylinders, the hollow stems of the giant hogweed, and a number of artificially produced instruments to amplify the sound and resonance. The stag's vocalizations are not only very diverse, but also vary according to age, state of mind, and duration of the rut, during which they become increasingly hoarse, as well as the mood of the herd, according to the organizers. The members of the jury listened with closed eyes to make sure nothing would distract them from the sound.
Very important, very serious.
Okay.
Well, the deer calling championship may have been what this family was watching when a deer jumped through a window of their home. Deputies helped release a deer back into the woods after it crashed in through the living room window of a Florida home earlier this month.
Why is it always Florida? Footage posted to X by the Orange County Sheriff's Office shows the deputies coming to the animal's aid. According to the X post, the deer was struggling to stand on the tiles, so deputies helped calm it, guide it into the backyard, and safely back into the woods. Although, this tile floor is going to be pretty slippery, so... good. This is a fun one to get to say. Talk about a crappy delivery. As this family, that's exactly what it says. This family in Lincoln, California received a disturbing package. I don't like where this is going, from Amazon's delivery service.
Paige of Lincoln and her family say what was left behind wasn't lost or delayed, and definitely something you couldn't return. At first it was confusing, then unmistakable.
An Amazon delivery bag with human fecal matter inside, left on their private property. The Lincoln family immediately called Amazon about the delivery. I guess that's who you called first, but excuse me. I ordered the dog fecal matter. This is clearly human. Young Wyatt Lynch stated that he was, quote, shocked that someone just left a thing, a poop.
Amazon sent hazmat crews to retrieve the package. Paige Lynch stresses that the main concern is the contamination of other packages and hopes that the delivery driver wasn't touching anyone's stuff.
Well, boy, I think they probably couldn't get away without touching someone else's stuff.
That sounds really wrong.
Oh my! How do you return that one?
I don't think.
I like they sent the hazmat team. Like, why not just send the bomb squad too? I mean,
but that is a nasty thing to get.
Yeah, it is. That's not a really pleasant delivery. We've got a pleasant delivery for you. Some warm temperatures as we head into the afternoon. We'll have a look at that and your wake up recap right after this.
This is your Wake Up Recap for February 2nd. Your top stories to start your day. A semi loaded with press and seal plastic wrap crashed yesterday evening near Rolla. The tractor trailer struck bridge overpass pillars and the driver was entrapped. The truck initially caught fire, but bystanders were able to put out the flame using a fire extinguisher. Emergency services located the heavily damaged semi with the occupant still trapped inside, suffering traumatic injuries. Crews quickly extracted the driver, who was flown from the scene. Bridge inspectors designated the structure as safe for continued travel. A train collision and derailment shut down tracks near the Missouri-Kansas line. 2 trains collided over the weekend near Mulberry, Kansas and Burgess, Missouri. 2 tanker cars carrying a heavy asphalt-like material, a grain hopper and a locomotive derailed. Some grain spilled, but no injuries were reported. Authorities have not yet given an estimate for when service will resume. For now, the main line is not operating through the area. The cause of the collision is under investigation. That's a check of today's Wake Up Recap.
And check your forecast. Take a look at these temperatures. Much nicer out there. Low 50s for us today. Clouds gradually increasing and a south breeze at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Into the evening we go. Mostly cloudy. Mid 40s. Eventually back into the low 30s. So cold but above average. Northwest winds at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Then tomorrow, weak cold front in the morning brings our temperatures back to seasonable levels. Mid 40s. Upper 30s. Low 40s Wednesday. So a little cooler. Overnight lows though seasonably cold in the mid-20s, but it's a brief cool down. I mean, you can already see all the other numbers, but look at that. We are almost 60 degrees by Friday. Then we'll hang out in the 50s. Rain chances, at least some, on Sunday and Wednesday. And long-range data has been suggesting that it will warm up a lot next week, and that is exactly what it looks to do as we climb into the low 60s. So, here we go. So today, those of you may have missed it, and if you did, you're not missing it now. So our very own Samantha Walker, even though it has been unofficial for a while here, she's now officially joining us here on the KOAM Morning News permanently. Now, Joplin and I are from Samantha. Samantha and I are from Joplin, so I don't know about you long term, but like me, I'm not going anywhere. I know some of you probably a little disappointed by that, but we're both native to the area. We know the region. We're going to be here with you for a while longer on the KOAM Morning News, and so we're going to celebrate this.
Oh.
I can open this box here.
See, I don't know what's happening right now.
Yeah, you don't look in the box.
Okay.
The box is forbidden. Okay, so what we have, so it was supposed to be for New Year's, but it arrived late, so now it's for this. So we have this, and we have this. Those are glasses. Okay, next, we have some OJ. Minute Maid OJ.
That is fancy.
Oh, there you go. 100% vitamin C or Vit C is what it says. Only 170 calories, but we have this. Now, is there anybody that wants to tell me how you're supposed to do this? Do you know how?
No.
Okay. Well, that's why we allotted some extra time here. So we're celebrating Samantha's arrival. I probably should have planned this slightly better.
Because now you're stuck with me.
I have no. Yes, we are. But that's not a bad thing. Sam and I, we joke a lot. Oh, hey, there's a thing in here.
Oh, fancy.
What's this do? Well, it's not helping me any. So
we break a camera.
You people at home that probably know how to open these things better than we do.
This is painful for you, right?
It's probably you guys have got to be hurting. Okay, so there's this twisty thing. I guess you untwist it. I don't know.
Keep your eyes out from the range of it, I guess.
Trevor, our morning show guy, he's over there.
Oh, my goodness.
This is going to go south. This is really going to go south. Hey! Look at that. So we're supposed to add some OJ in here. There's supposed to be, I think it's... I don't consume alcohol very much. That's very potent.
We can just smell it.
Okay, so I don't know how much OJ you're supposed to add, so I'm going to put in like that.
I think majority OJ, right?
Probably. You can have the rest.
I mean, it's
a good breakfast
7
beverage,
in the morning.
I suppose it is. So, and then this is really cold. It's been stored in our storm shelter, which doesn't have heat or air for that matter. So in the winter, it is really cold. Okay, so that's it. That's what we're doing. I'm not... You can't put that. You can't put it back in there. Look, see, it doesn't fit anymore. So we want to again officially welcome Samantha to the KOAM Morning News. Like officially. It's good to have you here. You've been doing very good.
Thank you.
We've had to rein you in a little bit. You're a little crazy. I'm kidding. I'm the crazy one. But we're very glad to have you. I know you viewers at home have enjoyed. Sam's a little younger than I am. She's a little more up on social media, so she's got me doing a few more social media things. You get to see us
I need to teach you another dance.
I don't know about that.
People are calling for it.
There are plenty of things that I can certainly be taught. And if you see her, say congratulations and be like, hey, all right. And like I said, we're both from the area. We know the area pretty darn well. We're not going anywhere. You're going to be stuck with us for
a while.
I don't know how long a while is, but it's going
There's
to be a while.
people at home watching being like, this is my sign to turn it off.
They're like, okay, well, we've now learned that it's time to change the channel. And so, but hopefully not. Hopefully you're going to stick with us. We enjoy seeing you out there every morning. We can't see you, but we know you're there. Yeah. We want to thank you for joining us this morning. A side note, because we had to trick her into thinking something else was happening. Today is National Karaoke Day. So get out there, sing like you can, even if you can't. Because that's what I do. I sing like I can, even though I can't. We will see you back here, mostly, straightforward, for the KOAM News at noon.
Yeah, have a great rest of your morning. Do you want to cheers before we go?
Sure. Here we go. Congratulations.
Thank you. Good morning.